Good evening. Our news summary for this Tuesday, the 6th of January. Since mid-December, both private and public health facilities have reported an increase in the number of people presenting with signs and symptoms consistent with chikungunya, dengue, and Zika. These three viral infections have almost the same symptoms, including fever, joint pain, and headaches. The Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gedeon, says that additional confirmatory tests are being conducted on an ongoing basis.
And we have found an increasing number of chikungunya cases among these patients. The number of dengue and Zika viruses have not increased, have not changed so much in the past couple of weeks. It is not unusual at this time of the year when the rainy season is in and there are an increase in the number of mosquitoes that are in circulation. So in view of that, we are sending several messages. One, for people to take precautions to reduce transmission, and the best way to do that is to reduce breeding sites of mosquitoes around the homes by removing all the sites where they breed. Two, you can use chemical method, sprays in dark places, behind bushes, under the bed, behind curtains. You close the doors for about 10 minutes and then before you reopen. Three, if you fall ill, if you have mild symptoms, you can manage yourself at home. But if your symptoms are a bit more severe or you need a consultation, please do go to your health facilities to see a doctor, and they will advise you on what the likely option is and provide you with necessary treatment. In terms of treatment, these three arboviruses are managed similarly, except that if you suspect it's dengue, you have to avoid certain medications, which we call the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These are aspirin, Brufen, piroxicam, naproxen, and Indocid. Because these tend to decrease it causes thinning of the blood, and it can cause you to have internal bleeding.
Meanwhile, Madagascar is currently experiencing its first outbreak of Mpox, with 6 laboratory-confirmed cases reported so far, all in the city of Mahayanga. The first 5 cases were recorded 6 days ago. The Public Health Commissioner in Seychelles, Dr. Gedeon, says that 76 suspected cases are currently being monitored.
Mpox is circulating globally. There's been countries that have reported death. Madagascar has not reported any death. In Seychelles, we have a system of surveillance in place, both in the health facility, laboratory-based, and in the surveillance, among the surveillance data that we collect. We are able to confirm cases very quickly and take the necessary management protocol that is set in place. We already have a plan since over a year ago on how we're going to manage Mpox should it arrive in Seychelles to prevent its transmission and rapid containment.
Discussions of the possibility of a conservation center on Assumption Island are among the topics discussed by the Executive Committee of the Islands Conservation Society, the ICS, during a meeting with President Patrick Emini at State House this morning. During this meeting, ICS had the opportunity to talk about their journey until now, the role they play in preservation and conservation on the outer islands, and challenges they are facing in various projects. The chairman of the ICS, Adrian Scarrett, explains what ICS has been doing so far and their future plans in conservation.
We have set up conservation centres on the islands, and these centres they monitor the environment, the turtles, the birds, and at most of these locations we see nature springing back thanks to the conservation work that's being done. We also carry out projects where funding is available. We have set up foundations, separate NGOs for each island. And these foundations have representatives not just from ICS, but from IDC, from the Ministry of Environment, from the investors and other stakeholders on the island. And what we have tried to do is bring everybody together for each island with a separate board and a separate foundation on each island to run these conservation projects. We do invite other people to join us. We have, for example, invited Seychelles Island Foundation to join us. SIF are very important partners.
Can you talk a bit about the future plan for ICS in the coming years?
There's certainly a need for a conservation centre on Assumption. We talked about Poivre as well. South Island on Poivre is a nature reserve, and something needs to be done there. The problem is always funding, of course, and we have different issues on different islands. Some islands get quite a bit of money from tourism, some of which filters into conservation, but other islands will always struggle.
Have we also discussed about the source of funding with the President?
Well, the source of funding is primarily investors in the islands and IDC. And IDC contribute landing fees and other fees. And where ICS comes in, we propose a budget each year, we propose programs and conservation work that can be done each year, a work plan, and that is approved by the foundation, by the board that includes the investor, IDC, and the Ministry of Environment, and then we get on with doing the work.
The Office of the President has announced the appointment of Michel Raymond-Pierre as the new Chief Executive Officer of the Seychelles National Youth Council, the SNYC, with effect from the 1st of this month. According to a press release, Mr. Pierre brings extensive experience in youth development, governance, stakeholder engagement, and program management. He has worked closely with national and regional partners on youth empowerment initiatives and has demonstrated strong leadership in managing complex programs, mobilizing resources, and strengthening institutional frameworks. Mr. Pierre served as a citizens' engagement platform CEPS from 2014 to 2021, initially as events and programs manager and subsequently from 2017 as Chief Executive Officer. At the time of his appointment as SNYC's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Pierre was serving as Grants Coordinator at the Seychelles Conservation and Climate Adaptation Trust, SECAT. Members of the public in Southern Mai will now be able to carry out their tax-related transactions closer to home as the Seychelles Revenue Commission, the SRC, has opened a new office in Os-Royal to provide these services. The office is located in the Maison Royale building opposite the University of Seychelles. 2 employees will be available to assist clients during the office's operating hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekdays. According to the SRC's Director of Tax Education, Cheryl Barra, the opening of the new office forms part of the Commission's decentralization program aimed at improving service delivery.
We offer varieties of services, similar services that we offer at the main branch in Victoria, that is business registration, filing of returns, declarations, and payment of taxes. We also offer other services such as basic services where taxpayers ask to have a copy of their tax identification number letter, a copy of income tax certificate, withholding tax certificate, and we also provide dedicated tax advice should taxpayers feel that they need to be more educated about a particular tax so that they understand the obligation that comes with it.
And with this, we end this news summary. Have a very pleasant evening.